Hi, this is Pranay, and today I would like to show you how you can create your very first dashboard on the Wave Analytics platform. Let's get started. First, we'll start with our app. We'll name it Opportunities. Click Create, and there's our first app. Click on Create, click on Dataset, and here we have a few options. Salesforce. We'll click Salesforce right here, and the first object that we will start from would be Opportunities. Now, once I have the object on this canvas, I can select which fields I need. I'm gonna need amount for sure. Then we would want to group by close date. We might want to see if they're closed or not, when they were created, and stage, as well as whether it was won or lost. So having these fields, as you can see here, we have 6 fields selected. In order to get the account name, which does not appear here on the fields, first I would select a relationship of account ID. Clicking on join adds that object to the canvas. Once we have that object, we can click on plus, select the fields from account that we would need. So from the account, we definitely need the account name. We might want to group opportunities by city, country, state, province, as well as industry. Once we have these fields selected, another thing I might want on the opportunity is who owns the opportunity. I click on plus again, go to relationships, and this time I pick owner ID. Join. As you can see, the user shows up here because user is the object who is the owner of the opportunity. Clicking on the plus sign, on the user side, all we're interested in is the full name of the user. Using the search, I can select full name, and that's it. This is the data set that we have created. We're looking at 6 opportunity fields and 2 relationships. On account side, we only have 5 fields that we're interested in, and on the user side, just 1. Once we have everything that we need, that we would need on the dashboard, we can click on Create Dataset. We'll name it Opportunities with Accounts. The app is already selected for us, which is Opportunities, and click Create. Great, we have our dataset. This brings us to this job view page. We'll go to the data flow view. On the data flow view, as you would see, we would need to start the refresh. What that means is Salesforce, or Wave Analytics actually, will start fetching data from Salesforce. Once we have all the data, we can go ahead and start working on our lenses and dashboards. Now that I have my data flow refreshed, I can close out all these other tabs and go back to my Wave Analytics. Here, clicking on our app again, we can see our data set is available. The only thing we have right now is the data set, and that's the basic building block. That's where everything starts. Clicking on the data set, on the name, brings us to this new lens area. Here you'll see this bar length showing you the number of rows. So as you can tell, we have about 2,000 rows which corresponds to 2000 opportunities. Instead of looking at rows, which might not be that interesting, we can go to the sum, and the only measure we selected from all the fields was an amount. So we can click sum of amount, and the bar now shows us the total amount for all the opportunities that we have in Salesforce. Let's add a group. First we'll select close date, and let's group them by year. The next thing we want to do is break it down by the account name. For that, instead of date section, we'll go to the dimension section and then click on account name. And here it is, by year, by account. Now we have a lot of data here, and as you can see, Wave Analytics is super responsive. No sooner do you click anything, everything refreshes on the page. The next thing we need to do on this is add a filter. We only want to see the opportunities that were closed. So for that, on the filter, I can say closed. When I start typing, the dimension comes up, and here I have the option to pick whether I want close true or close false. Of course, we want close true. Click add, and our data updates. So this is what we call a lens. So far what we've been doing is in a draft mode. We haven't saved it yet. So let's go ahead and do that. And then move it to our opportunities app. Click save, and that's our first lens. Once we have a lens, which is only one chart, we can go here and then click on this button called Clip to Designer. As soon as we click on this, we're taken to this new dashboard page, and you'll see our lens show up right here. Clicking on the chart button will bring an empty chart onto the canvas, and having the new chart selected, if we click on any of the lens, it shows up on the chart. Once we have the data and the chart, we can go in here and change some of the parameters. We don't want to see the lens link, which is this one. We'll uncheck that. Logarithmic scale makes these really tiny bars and the tall bars come to a sort of closer state so that the chart becomes more readable. We'll click on that. There you go. Once we have this, let's go back to our lens and make some changes. One of the things in Wave is once you've created your dashboard and moved a lens over to it, the connection from the lens to the dashboard does not exist anymore, which means I could change this lens and it would not affect the dashboard widget that we have over here. So in order to change it, first thing I would like to show you is if I wanted to swap the close date year with the account name, I would click on any one, and I get these buttons whether to move it right or to move it left. So I'll move this right, and then you'll see the chart changes. Another thing I can do is change the type of chart I'm looking at. Clicking here, I have all these options. Let's try stack bar. What this does is it gives me stacks for the years and just these groups by the account name. Let's remove this and move it back to our bar chart. Next thing I want to know is what's the amount by industry. I search for industry, click on that, and I've replaced my group from account name to account industry, and I have the list right here. Let's move this to our dashboard. Click to designer again, going to our dashboard, we see this new lens appear. Let's move this chart down and bring in another chart. Once I have this chart, let's scale it a little and then click on my lens. One of the features of this is that once we've selected more than one charts on the same dashboard, we can make use of something called faceting. Faceted checkbox is something that's checked for both our charts right now. What that means is because they're both from the same dataset, they're linked to each other. But to show what I mean, let's move to the preview mode. Clicking on this button shows us our dashboard as it would appear to the end users. Now, what faceting allows us to do is when I click on agriculture or banking or biotechnology, you'll see the chart at the bottom move. What we're doing essentially is by clicking on any of these bars, we are filtering the other chart based on this data point. And to remove our selection, we simply click on it one more time and we have all our accounts again. Let's go back to edit. One of the questions we have is, all these opportunities are closed. We don't know whether they're won or lost. We would like to change both the charts based on whether we want to look at the won amounts or the lost amounts. So to do that, once again, we'll go back to our lens, change the group to 1. And as you'll see, we only get two options, false or true. So 1 false, 1 true. Once we have this chart, which obviously is not that amazing, we can first clip it to our designer. When we get this option here, this time instead of adding a chart, we'll use a toggle. We'll bring this toggle here. And with this toggle selected, we would click on our new lens. There. So is 1, whether it's true or false. If we don't want to show an amount, we can remove it, but we'll keep it just for now. We can change the title. We can shorten the number to show in millions and billions, so we can leave it as that. And let's go to our preview mode. So as you can see here, all I have to do is click false or true, and just like that, I'm looking at all the opportunities I lost and all the opportunities that were won. We can add titles in Wave simply by clicking on the text widget and typing here. Alright, so there's our final dashboard. Now all we need to do is save this. Click on save. And save. Going to our opportunities, you'll see that now we have a dashboard, a lens, and the data set. So there we have it. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for more videos. Till then, check out our blog for articles and other posts on all things Salesforce. Bye for now.